Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So I was asked several questions from a viewer about amplifiers. Do I ever scrap them? What's inside of them? Are they worth even taking apart or leaving as electronic weight price? So gonna answer those questions right now. I did mention to that viewer that I do not come across a lot of them, but it just so happened I did get one from a neighbor. It does not work, so gonna take it apart right now to see if it actually is worth taking apart or leaving it as is. The nice thing about this cube amplifier is I could bring it in as is and get electronic weight price. Currently it's about 6 to 7 cents a pound. This thing weighs about 13 pounds, but I am curious as well to see what's inside of it. Hopefully there is a transformer, other copper and brass items that I could take out first and make more money separated. So again, gonna open this. As mentioned, I don't find tons of them, but it just goes to show you never know what you're gonna find, and everything and anything can have scrap value. And it definitely is important for things like this that don't work to be able to divert from the landfill. So here we go, gonna start. There are a number of screws that I've already started to take out in the back. I have them here on my magnet. These I'm just gonna throw right into tin. I have a nice big tin can. Gonna get about 10 to 12 cents a pound for that. There are a few dials up here. There is also this screen, putting a magnet to it. That is tin as well. So I will actually take off this tin frame here and put this into tin rather than leave it on here for electronic weight price, because again, I am gonna make more money from tin than I am from electronic weight. But this is a neat little amplifier. Again, I don't know too much about them. There are different styles. If you are into the music world, love to hear a comment on the style of this, maybe age, if Cube is a good brand, I'm not sure. But again, I assure you, it does not work. So any of my viewers that say you could have resold that for hundreds of dollars to any type of musician, I would have tried if it worked, but again, my rule with any scrapping, check to see if things work first. There is again my screen. There is my speaker here, and I'm actually just going to work from it here. I'm going to take out the screen because this is a solid box, the speaker here. These speakers, great item. I actually have a video on these large speakers here. There is going to be a really nice, large, heavy magnet to it. I have tried magnet fishing. I did have some success, not getting a lot of big items, but it does pull up small little pieces, nails, and other pieces that are magnetic from the water. So if you're interested, go check out that video. I will include the link in my description. But just getting the last screw here. I have also seen people sell speakers, resell them online. People are always looking for them. But I do believe the main problem with this amplifier is the speaker. But notice, look at that nice big powerful magnet there. There you see. But there is a little bit of copper you see on this as well. Little strands. That is number 2 copper. I am going to pull that off. Number 2 copper right now. Great score, going for $5.50 a pound in London, Ontario. So every little bit of it helps. There is also some brass on here. These prongs do have a nice brass end to them. Brass right now going for $3.55 a pound. So gonna get that as well. The rest of the speaker, I'm gonna throw this into my tin. I don't need any more of these for magnet fishing. And as mentioned, it doesn't work. But again, some more tin. It does have a nice round bit of ferrite on here too. Some scrapyards do have separate categories for that. I don't have enough of it. I don't get enough of it. So I just throw it right into my tin. Inside, there is the rest of it. So a lot of wood. There is a small little circuit board that you see up there, as well as some wire. So just gonna actually see if I can actually just get the last screw off, and then I might just actually pop the top off using a hammer. Hopefully it is just wood, but I want to try and minimize the amount of damage, so I can just bring this still in for e-waste. We'll see. I'm getting off the last little bit here. There's my handle. Okay, I'm gonna try and reach the circuit board right here. Roland on the back. Just gonna pull this up. There we go. All right, so actually this thing is actually just gonna be wood now, so really not gonna get any value. So this is gonna be garbage. This is all that there is to this. A few little circuit boards. Gonna pull out this circuit board. Circuit boards as well, gonna make e-waste price on it. But I do see a few little goodies on here that I'm gonna look at right now once I remove this screw. And there is some aluminum on here, but very little to this amplifier. So I was actually a little surprised at the little bit in here. I have had some large woofers, for example, subwoofers do have a really nice bunch of copper inside, but this amplifier, not much. Very, very basic. So this is pretty interesting for me. Glad I actually don't find many of them because, in my opinion, this would have been a waste of time. Other than that little bit of tin, I would have just actually closed this up. But just to show you this circuit board, piece of aluminum here. This is an aluminum heat sink, and this is actually going to go as extrusion, form of aluminum, any type of aluminum that looks like it's been put through a mold or a press. And this right now going for $1.37 a pound. There is a difference in painted extrusion and clean extrusion. So there are two different categories. So this is painted black. So it is actually 5 cents more than clean. And I've asked the scrapyard, the people there, why that is. I would think because of the paint, it's going to be, dirty. But they say it's supply and demand. They want the painted, and it does come in all different styles of painted colors. I've seen gold, yellow, brown, green. So these are all painted. As well, there is a small little, I call them copper donut right there. I will pull that little bit of copper off. But the rest of this circuit board, not going to touch other than, I think that is brass. I am going to just use a file here, see if this little nub here is brass. If it is brass, I am going to pull it off. Yes, it is. You can see the gold color there. So pulling that off, get that little bit of brass. There's 1, 2, 3 of them here. And the rest of this, once I pull this wire off, gonna just go into my circuit boards. There are a few IC chips like this. If you are into micro scrapping, there is a market. Some people keep them on and don't do it, some do. Very easy to take off, just taking a knife going around the side of it. And I will include in my link as well a video on separating different pieces for micro scrapping, depopulating boards. It all, again, depends on the scrapper. But here also is some more wire. This wire is going to be going as 40% appliance wire. And currently right now going for $2 a pound in London, Ontario. This did not have, unfortunately, any type of plug, appliance plug. I wish it did, but again, very standard here, very basic, just a box here. A little bit of tin for sure. And this circuit board does have, just going to pull this last one just to see what else I have. But I too think this is going to be very little scrap recovery on here. But there you go, I got 2 bolts that I have to take out. I'm just going to break this circuit board. They are pinned on there. Yeah, so I'm actually just going to leave this as is. I don't see any real big items on here. It's going to be just a very small, low-grade board. So I'm actually just going to leave this as is. Get the 5 to 6 cents a pound for this. I don't see any copper or brass. This is all plastic, but because it does have the circuit board on it, they are not going to say anything about that plastic. But again, very simple, very quick video. Don't come across these a lot, but glad I got that question because, as mentioned, I have had this off tucked in the corner. I have been curious about it as well, what's inside of it, and glad I can actually now take it out, free up some space in the garage. Little bit of value, as mentioned, with my tin magnet, a little bit of copper. I do have a small piece of extrusion from my heatsink, but other than that, very little to this as scrap recovery. And unfortunately, this wood, I'm glad it's not plastic, but it will have to go into the garbage as well. So hopefully that answered the question. Again, thank you for that. I do like the feedback and questions, comments I get from the scrapping community. It does give me as well ideas for upcoming videos, and I will try to answer my questions, comments as soon as possible. So thank you again for that. There it is, an amplifier. Not much in it in terms of scrap, but glad to also see what was inside of it. Please continue with the questions, comments, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tin Man out.